Alam mo, hindi naman kailangan humingi ng assistance ng GSIS sa NBI kung ang intention nila ay isara lang yung door, 'di ba? Doon sa may bridge. Kasi they can do that through their maintenance, or mga karpintero pwede nilang hinga ng tulong doon para isara 'yon eh. Pero bakit ang NBI? And I saw the convoy of the NBI entering that gate yung gabing yun, May 13 at around 6 or 6:30 pumasok sila eh. So, ang aking reading doon, sinasabi lang na aayusin yung dore or isara. Actually, it was an attempt to assault the Senate, with all due respect.
Itong naging pag-aalis ni Senator Bato de la Rosa mula po sa Senado. Ang sabi po ng Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, hindi po tumakas kundi malaya po siyang makaalis dahil wala naman pong warrant na isinilbi po sa kanya. Wala ho ba kayo nakikitang problema dito at tama po yung sang-ayon po kayo sa sinasabi po ng SP Cayetano?
Actually, perfect yung kanyang sinabi eh. I'm in all fours with his statement. Kasi ako, Admar and Jade, I've always maintained na yung ating bansa ay hindi na siya sakop ng Rome Statute. Matagal na tayo nag-withdraw eh. And that is a fact. Ang problema lang, nag-i-insist itong gobyernong Marcos natin na mayroon pang residual jurisdiction itong ICC sa atin. So, yung sinabi ni Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano is in accordance with our Constitution and our laws. Kasi kung wala ng jurisdiction sa atin yung statute, because we have withdrawn from the Rome Statute and the ICC has no more jurisdiction, therefore, walang warrant na valid dito sa Pilipinas that kung may na-issue man ang warrant ng ICC. It is very clear na yung pag-alis ni Senator De La Rosa sa Senado or from the custody of the Senate ay okay lang yun kasi kung walang warrant na may visa dito coming from the ICC, then therefore he is as free as a bird. He is free as any Filipino not facing any warrant. So, tama yon.
Opo. Pero ang sinasabi po ng ICC, wanted daw itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Hindi ho ba siya itinuturing ngayon na pugante?
Alam mo, sila lang nagsasabi niyan, and it's an international tribunal. As far as the Philippines is concerned, Senator De La Rosa is not and can never be a fugitive. Kasi hindi natin i-recognize yung warrant nila. Nagkataon lang na sinuwerte itong ICC na ang Marcos government ay nire-recognize pa rin sila illegally or in violation of our own constitution, which is our domestic law. Sinabi ko nga in one interview na ang ating legal regime is very strict when it comes to the warrant requirement. Yung warrant na yan, kung gusto nilang bigyan ng visa yan, has to be submitted before our local court para yan ay ma-evaluate in accordance with our Bill of Rights. Kasi kung hindi yan bibigyan ng basbas, yung warrant na yan is a mere scrap of paper. Kaya tama si Senator Cayetano na walang naghaharang kay Senator Bato na lumabas ng Senado. And he is not considered a fugitive. So yan ang aking theory founded on our Bill of Rights, particularly yung provision natin dyan sa Bill of Rights which states the right of the person to be free in his person, property and effects from unreasonable searches and seizures. So yan po ang applicable provision dyan eh. So superior yung ating Constitution compared to the Rome Statute from which we have already long withdrawn.
Opo. At dahil nga dito sa pagpapasailalim sa Senate Protective Custody o pagprotekta nga kay Senator Bato de la Rosa dyan sa Senado, attorney, ang sinasabi po ng mga kritiko ay may obstruction of justice daw ang nangyari dito. Reaksyon po ninyo?
Paano magkaroon ng obstruction of justice when, one, the Senate premises are inviolable. Second, the Senate leadership under Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano is invoking our own constitution, which is a superior law within our own sphere, within Philippine jurisdiction. So, walang obstruction of justice if you are relying on our own constitution or our own domestic law. And there is good faith on the part of the Senate leadership because meron silang ini-invoke na batas yung ating constitution. Hindi pwedeng obstruction of justice yan.
Opo, opo. Yung Senate resolution po kasi, ang sinasabi po ng ilang mga kritiko, hindi naman po yan batas. Hindi po dapat siya gagamitin bilang proteksyon dito kay Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Well, mali sila dyan because within the premises of the Senate, yung aksyon ng Senate leadership, a resolution is a law within the sphere of the premises of the Senate. So, yan ang kaibahan ng aming posisyon sa kanilang sinasabi. Yung kanila criticism Itong Senate resolution na inisyu ng new leadership led by Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano is in all fours with our constitution, and our domestic law is superior than international law, especially pag mayroong dispute na doon sa jurisdiction ng ICC sa atin. So with more reason, we should be very strict against the ICC and favorable to our own citizen. A senator at that, at incumbent pa. So mali ang kritiko dito kasi sa loob ng Senado, inviolable yan At sila ang merong control dyan. Not even the executive, not even the enforcement agencies like the NBI, which has acted wrong lately, ay merong poder dyan sa loob.
Opo. Attorney, nakausap niyo po ba si Senator Bato de la Rosa bago po siya umalis dyan sa Senado?
Actually, hindi kami nag-usap kasi hindi ko naman siya talaga ka-close, no? But what I monitored, yung mga ginawa ng kanyang mga abogado na mga kaibigan ko, like Attorney Torion, Attorney Jimmy Bondok, and Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. At ang kanilang mga moves, legal moves and actions at mga statements ay tama at parehas din kami. So, yung ginawa nilang filing, yung supplemental motion and manifestation, ay tama yun. In fact, yung ating Korte Suprema ay nagbigay ng 72 hours for the palace to comment and for the petitioner to file a reply. So you see the urgency of the motion and manifestation on the part of Senator Bato in view of the supervening event and circumstances dito na very special, and hindi gagalaw ang Korte Suprema ng ganon. Nag-special session sila para tugunan nga itong isang gustong hingin ng kampo ni Senator Bato, which is a temporary restraining order, which is really the right remedy under our laws.
Opo. Yung pag-alis ba ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, sa tingin po ninyo ay tama po ang kanyang naging desisyon sa gitna ng tensyon nga dyan sa Senado, attorney?
Tama ka, Jade, kasi I was there for 3 days ako, state ako. Tinulugan ko talaga yan. Although hindi naman sa lahat ng oras nandun ako, pero for 3 straight days, I was outside the Senate. So nakita ko yung tension at yung ginawa ng NBI ng 2 beses na assault. Although hindi na ito nila yung second assault, pero ako nakita ko yung pagpasok nila sa gate ng GSIS building sa kabila. And I am of the opinion na nagkaroon ng second assault or attempt. So itong mga disturbing incidents which are not really gawain ng isang enforcer na nagre-respeto sa ating batas. Kasi alam na nila na merong pending petition, merong supplemental motion and manifestation, tapos nag-issue na ng resolution. Bakit nila pinipilit yung gusto nila? So, na pag-isipan siguro ni Senator De La Rosa na it would be best for him and for the Senate na umalis muna to diffuse tension and to prevent the illegality na ginagawa ng National Bureau of Investigation.
Opo.
Yeah.
Opo. Ang issue ho bang nakikita nyo dito ay nagkagulo sa Senado dahil nandoon si Senator Bato de la Rosa o dahil ginawa ito ng gobyerno? Although itinanggi na po yan ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. mismo. Ano yung mga issue nakikita po niyo dito?
Alam mo, pinilit nila yung isang bagay na hindi pwede. Alam nila na secured ang premises by the OSAA, backed up by the contingent of the Philippine Marine. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung premises, hindi talaga papayagan na ma-desecrate na nga sa unang attempt ng NBI, yung unang illegal assault nila. So, dito sa second, nakita natin yung zealousness ng security ng Senado na protektahan ang premises in accordance with the resolution issued by the new leadership and in accordance with the inviolability of the premises principle. So tama lang yung ginawa ng Senado na gwardyahan. Otherwise, yung respeto sa Senado ay magdwindle, bababa lalo at wala nang respeto kahit sino. Pwede na lang pumasok dyan. You know, even the government, even the executive cannot just intrude into the premises na walang pahintulot or coordination ng Senate leadership. Yan ang tinuro sa amin sa law school. It's a basic principle that the Senate premises are inviolable. At kahit meron kang justification, kailangan mo pa rin ng basbas ng Senate. Kailangan mo pa rin ng coordination. Kasi kung hindi yan ibigay sa'yo, you cannot say that you are insisting on what you want because discretion yan ng Senate. So within their sphere, yung kanilang sinasabi, yung kanilang aksyon, yung kanilang desisyon is law. So batas yun sa loob. Hindi mo pwedeng insist yung sa'yo.
Attorney, magandang umaga. Si Admar po ito.
Yes, Atmar. Good morning.
Opo. Kayo rin po ba ay nagtataka doon po sa hiling ng GSIS na humingi ng assistance mula sa NBI? At ang NBI po ba ang tamang hingan ng assistance? Parte po ba ng pagtatrabaho po nila, pati na yung pagbabare na po doon sa exit door mula Senado papunta sa GSIS? Attorney, kasi marami pong mga nagtataka kasi mga past 5 p.m. po yata nang natanggap ang letter mula sa GSIS. May hiling for assistance sa NBI po, Attorney.
Alam mo, hindi naman kailangan humingi ng assistance ng GSIS sa NBI kung ang intention nila ay isara lang yung door. Diba? Doon sa may bridge. Kasi they can do that through their maintenance or mga karpintero, pwede nilang hinga ng tulong doon para isara yun Pero bakit ang NBI? And I saw the convoy of the NBI entering that gate yung gabing yung May 13 at around 6 or 6:30 pumasok sila So, ang aking reading doon, sinasabi lang na aayusin yung door or isara. Actually, it was an attempt to assault the Senate with all due respect. And I'm questioning the authority of the NBI. Alam mo, sa ganitong usapin, walang otoridad ang NBI Kasi ang merong jurisdiction or authority ay PCTC. Hindi naman PCTC ang NBI Bakit sila ang nagli-lead dyan tapos Sa unang assault, dinala pa nila si Trillanes. So that becomes very questionable. So hindi ako naniniwala na yung pagpasok nila sa GSIS building ay it was an innocuous action, or meaning wala, harmless yung kanilang ginawa. There was really an attempt to launch a second assault kasi ang sabi ni Major General Mau Aplaska, nakita nila yung mga armed men ng NBI sa mga exit ng Senado. So anong ginagawa nila doon? So you see, that is an indication that there was really an operation. I don't believe yung sinabi ni Attorney Matibag na wala sila doon sa premises, malayo na sila doon sa NBI, umalis sila, andun sila sa Sequoia Hotel, and later on, sinabi ni President Marcos na hindi niya pinahintulutan ng NBI na umaksyon doon. I don't believe that because these are betrayed by their own actions. Nung Mayo 13, I was there. Nasa labas ako, nakita ko because I was immediately in front of the GSIS gate kasi nag-move kami ng misis ko a little further kasi nakainitan doon sa rally site, and ang sabi ko masyadong mainit, mag-ikot muna tayo dito nearby, and it just so happened na nandun ako nung makita ko pumapasok yung convoy ng NBI sa GSIS premises.
May sulat nga po, di ba, yung GSIS na humihiling daw sila sa NBI ng parang additional manpower or puwersa para mag-secure lang sa safety, sa lugar, sa gitna nga ng gulo dyan sa Senado, Attorney.
Hindi naman pumasok yung security ng Senado, hindi naman pumasok ang OSAA or the Marines diyan sa area nila eh. Yung bridge na yon, kontrolado ng Senado yon, of course, kasi silang may hawak ng susi, at sinabi ng chairman ng NBI si Veloso na sila may hawak. So, anong pinangangambahan nila? It's the Senate securing its premises. Wala namang gagawin ang Senado para pumasok sa GSIS area or GSIS side. So bakit ang NBI ang pumunta doon? Di ba? Kung pwede mo naman isara yon. In fact, sarado yun eh. Kasi wala namang susi ang GSIS.
Meron pa pong isa pang issue. Ang sinasabi po ng mga kritiko din ay it was a stage yung nangyari dyan sa Senado, at ang sabi naman po ni SP Cayetano, ang Senado o the Senate was under attack. Nag-init nga po siya doon sa tanong ng isang reporter matapos yung questionin yung warning shot. Ano hong masasabi po ninyo?
It was really staged. Pati yung putukan, yung sound ng gunfire, narinig ko yun eh. And I was there. Sabi ko nga, I was there eh. Very near that. Kaya nakita ko yung burst kasi merong parang meron yatang, akala ko nga fireworks eh. Yung sound saka yung explosion sa sky, nakita ko, ang sabi ko kay Mrs., hindi kaya hindi kaya fireworks lang ito. Pero wala naman celebration ngayon. So, when I reach my vehicle nearby sa parking area, napag-isipan ko na baka second assault ito. And it turned out to be that way. So, kasi nakita ko yung convoy papasok sa GSIS eh. So, it was a stage thing, at nagsisinungaling ang NBI leadership. And probably they did not inform President Marcos Jr. about it. Baka nagsinungaling din sila, kaya yung statement niya. Or alam niya pero hindi niya sinabi yung katotohanan.
Opo, sabi nga ni SP Cayetano, sa 5 sinabi daw ni NBI Director Matibag, 6 ang mali.
Baka 7 pa nga ang mali. Kasi hindi ako naniniwala dahil I was there, nakita ko. Plus the fact, kahit wala ako sa loob, siyempre from circumstances outside, looking in, makikita mo yung galaw eh. For example, I'll tell you, Admar, bago pumasok yung convoy, pinatabi yung mga ralista by the police na may mga shield, no? Pinatabi sila para makadaan. And then inopen yung barrier doon sa GSIS site side para makapasok yung convoy na puting vehicle. So you see, it was really an attempted assault for the second time to desecrate the premises of the Senate. With all due respect, yun lang ang naobserbahan ko. I was there. And as a lawyer, alam ko yung mga galaw na yan from the perspective of a legal mind and even an ordinary observer. Hindi pwede yung sinasabi nila. It was really staged. It was a second attempt to assault the Senate.
Opo. Attorney, dahil nga sa mga pangyayari dyan sa Senado, umuugong na naman daw itong kudita sa loob. Mismo ang SP Cayetano sinasabi may mga from minority na kinakausap na yung ilan po sa mga nasa majority para lumipat. At ito nga, may plano daw patalsikin itong si SP Cayetano. Ano pong pananaw po ninyo?
Well, they don't have the numbers, itong mga minority. 9 lang sila eh. Kahit pa magsali sa kanila yung additional 2, 11 lang sila. So that will not happen. And my observation is that baka mag-join pa yung 2 na naka-abstain sa majority para patatagin ang majority and to assure our people na hindi na babalik yung abusadong majority led by former Senate President Vicente Soto III. So hindi mangyayari yan sa aking analysis based on the numbers that they have on both sides at sa realidad ng sitwasyon. You know, the Senate has to be stable para yung kanilang serbisyo ay tuloy-tuloy. And the people do not want instability. So, I don't think so mangyayari yung na sinasabi na yan. Kasi masisira ang institusyon ng Senado pag nangyari pa uli yan at hindi papayag na ang tao. So, that is remote from my perspective.
Ilang senador nga itong nasa minority ay tinatanggi din na natimbrihan sila bago po yung gulo dyan sa Senado. Ano ho yung inyong pananaw din, reaksyon doon?
You know, I do not know really kung totoo ba yung sinasabi na naabisuhan sila na papasukin uli yung Senado. But sa nakikita natin, bakit lahat sila doon wala? Yung side lang ng majority ang nandun. Pero ayoko kasing maging malisyoso, no? Granting that they are in good faith na lumabas talaga sila because wala namang ganon. So, let it be. Pero ang klaro dito is that kahit anong sabihin ng NBI at ng palasyo, based sa circumstances and the situation na nangyari ng Mayo 13, klarong-klaro na merong attempt to assault the Senate for the second time. At hindi yan maitatanggi. And that will be evidence against the government doon sa urgent manifestation and motion ni Senator Bato. With more reason, dapat mag-issue ng temporary restraining order ang Korte Suprema dito to put things in the right order at ma-prevent yung chaos. Sila rin ang nagbigay ng cause why the Supreme Court should issue a temporary restraining order. Ano naman, nandun ho ba kayo nung papalabas po si dating Senate President Tito Soto sa Senado, attorney, dahil pumalag siya matapos ngang hinampas paulit-ulit ang kanyang sasakyan umano ng mga nagpoprotesta po doon sa labas ng Senado? Yeah, I was nearby. Although, para sa akin, hindi dapat yon kasi kahit pa we don't agree with him and with his actions, hindi dapat merong violence. I was always telling the rallies, do not put the law into your hands. Kung magsalita kayo, you express your freedom of speech and freedom of expression in a peaceful manner, in accordance with our Bill of Rights. Huwag kayong gumamit ng dahas. So, nalungkot ako doon kasi nakita ko may konting ganon na nangyari. Probably dala rin yun ng frustration at galit ng mga rallyista, pero I don't tolerate it kasi hindi dapat nangyayari yan Consistent ako na dapat peaceful ang isang protest action kasi hindi naman tayo in the jungle eh. May mga batas tayo. At tayong mga Pilipino, we can accomplish things peacefully. Pero nga tayong dalawang EDSA eh, EDSA 1 and EDSA 2, which were accomplished in a peaceful, non-violent manner. So, hindi ko yon sinasanction, hindi ko tinotolerate yung ganyan. Very unfortunate na nangyari yon kay Senate President Soto. Former Senate President Soto.
Opo. Attorney, meron ho ba kayong ideya at o tama ba yung mga bali-balitang nakita nga si Senator Robin Padilla sa NAIA, Palipadata? Baka meron po kayong idea lang, attorney, tungkol po doon kung gaano po katotoo ang balitang yan?
Well, hearsay naman yan sa pagdating sa atin, no? Kasi hindi naman natin nakita. I really don't know. Pero si Senator Robin Padilla ang dapat mag-explain yan. Kasi tayo very speculative sa atin ang dating. Baka imbis na maklaruhan natin yan, lalong magkakos ng confusion or pandemonium sa ating mga Pilipino at hindi natin makuha yung totoo dito. So it would be best for Senator Robin Padilla kung pwede niyang sabihin. Pero hindi mo rin pwedeng persahan o i-force yan kay Senator Padilla kung ayaw niya magsalita tungkol dyan. Because a fellow senator will really protect yung kanyang kasama kasi meron silang resolution eh. At ang belief ng majority ng Senado ngayon ay walang warrant na in effect ang ICC kasi nga walang jurisdiction, hindi kinikilala dito. At walang pahintulot sa ating local court yung warrant na gustong i-enforce ng National Bureau of Investigation. And I really question the action of the NBI, hindi lang dahil doon sa mali yung ginawa nila kasi assault ang ginagawa nila eh. Yung kanilang authority kasi hindi naman sila ang PCTC eh. Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. So anong otoridad nila para i-enforce yung warrant na yan na wala namang basbas ng local court? So dalawa ang question. One, yung authority ng NBI to enforce an ICC warrant. Second, yung kawalan ng basbas or permission from the local court kasi hindi nila sinapit yan sa local court in accordance with our Bill of Rights at saka even the Rome Statute, Article 59.
Opo. Attorney, huling issue na lamang o topic, kaugnay nga doon sa impeachment case ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Sabi nga ni SP Cayetano by May 18, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, o soonest ay magko-convene po yung Senado patungkol nga dito sa impeachment case ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano ho bang inaasahan po ninyo?
Well, alam mo, yung Senado naman, meron silang duty, no, to constitute themselves into an impeachment court. So tama yung sinabi ni Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano. Sa-action sila dito at Mayo 18 nga ang target date or earlier. Now, ako naman, from my view, based on circumstances and political reality, the articles of impeachment is dead in the water. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Baka ma-dismiss yan eh. On the part of the defense, meron silang option questionin yung validity, yung legality or constitutionality ng articles of impeachment through a motion to dismiss or a motion to quash. Kasi merong question doon sa proceedings ng Committee on Justice. Remember, ang House noong April 29, April 24, April 4, March 25. Nag-conduct sila ng proceedings eh. But at the time, the House and the Senate were not in session or in recess. Okay? So, yung kanilang continuation ng proceedings, I'm talking of the Committee on Justice, was in violation or in contravention of Article 11, Section 3, subparagraph 2 of the Constitution, which mandates that yung kanilang proceedings ay maganap or gagawin when Congress is in session. Nakasaad doon mismo that they have to file the committee report within 60 session days. Kahit yung filing, dapat kahit yung action sa file complaint should take place during the session days ng House. Pero hindi ito nangyari. Yung 4 na araw wherein nag-present sila ng mga witnesses like accused kidnapper Madriaga, the controversial Antonio Trillanes III, yung AMLAC Executive Director na nagkaroon ng unauthorized disclosure of confidential information in violation of the AMLA law of 2021 and other witnesses. Nangyari nung days na walang session ang House, March 25, April 4, April 22, and April 29. Lahat ito ay void Pag void, dahil ang House Resolution 892 is void, being contrary to Article 11, Section 3 sa Paragraph 2, ibig sabihin yung kanilang finding of probable cause ay void din. At void din yung kanilang committee report at articles of impeachment na hinanda ng Committee on Justice, which was voted favorably by the plenary noong Mayo 5, May 5. So ito ay pwedeng questionin in a motion to quash or motion to dismiss before the Senate sitting as an impeachment court. So for all intents and purposes, hindi mag-prosper yung ganyang kaso na void from the beginning. I'm talking of the articles of impeachment. So yan ang aking perspective. At saka, yung aking experience sa impeachment, yung Corona, especially at saka Bautista impeachment where I was involved, nangyari yung mga proceedings na yan when Congress was in session, when the House was in session. Wala during the recess. And even Gutierrez impeachment nangyari when Congress was in session. And even the Davide impeachment happened when Congress was in session. So ngayon lang nangyari ito na itong impeachment proceedings against our Vice President Sara C. Duterte ay nangyari when Congress is in recess. So you see the voidness of the proceedings ng House Committee on Justice at saka yung action nila dito sa mga complaints. Aside from the other objections like sila na ang nagsisil ng mga defekto at kakulangan doon sa dalawang complaints, nagkaroon tuloy ng issue on fishing expedition. So to me, void ab initio yung articles of impeachment, and therefore that can be the subject of a motion to quash or a motion to dismiss before the Senate sitting as an impeachment court on May 18, 2026.
At yung mga petisyon doon sa Supreme Court, attorney, magiging makakaapekto ho ba yun? Hihintayin pa bang desisyon ng Supreme Court bago sila, isa rin ho ba yun sa magiging grounds para masabi natin pwedeng hindi na ituloy muna ang impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte dyan sa Senado?
Actually, in the absence of a temporary restraining order or preliminary mandatory injunction, hindi pwedeng harangin yung Senado, di ba? Depende na rin sa Senado kung anong action nila if they will defer to the Supreme Court. But if the Supreme Court will issue a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction, they will have to honor it. Kasi yan ang rule of law. So, tingnan natin ang situation, no? I don't want to preempt kasi hindi naman natin alam kung ang nasa mind ng ating kataas-taasang hukuman. We have really high respect for the court. As an officer of the court, kasi abogado ako, I will really put so much faith and confidence in the Supreme Court and even defend it to my last breath, kasi yan po ang obligasyon ng isang abogado. We have to defend the institution of the Supreme Court. So much so that as a citizen, I will also defend to the death the sanctity and integrity of the Senate. So, tingnan natin ang mangyayari dyan, Admar. We do not know Anything can happen before May 18.
Opo. Si Jade po ulit ito,
Yes,
attorney.
Jade.
Opo. Kung sakali mang absent si Senator Bato during the, yung impeachment court na nga, pagko-convene po nila, makakaapekto ho ba yun sa maaaring boto po ng majority o ng yung magiging boto po ng impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte?
Alam mo, actually, walang epekto talaga kasi you need 16 votes to convict eh. Di ba? Imposible na ma-attain yan eh. Hindi na aabot kasi kahit hindi pa mag-appear si Senator De La Rosa dyan sa impeachment proceeding sa Senate. 12 votes as against 9 sa minority at 2 pa sa abstain. It's impossible na aabot sila sa 16 or 15. Granting na i-consider natin na 15 na lang dahil nag-resign si Senator, now Secretary of Education, Sani Angara. So, imposible maabot yung number. Kaya, ang sabi ko nga, politically and reality-wise, the impeachment is dead in the water.
At maari ho bang gumamit ng sumama si Senator Bato via Zoom kung papayagan po ng Senado para makahilahok po?
Kung papayagan ng bagong majority yan, pwede yan. Kasi sila naman ang batas dyan sa Senado eh. They are superior in their own sphere. Hindi pwedeng pakialaman sila kahit ng Korte Suprema. And if it is in accordance with their rules of impeachment, at saka that is reasonable given the fact na hinahunting ng NBI si Senator Bato para arestuhin ng illegally, so pwede nilang payagan yan. At pwede rin tayo masorpresa, Jade, baka biglang mag-appear, mag-sulpot dyan sa Senado si Senator Bato eh. We do not know eh.
Yes,
Depende yan kay Senator Bato eh. Di ba? So baka pupunta siya dyan. So depende.
Opo. Siguro, attorney, yung huling mensahe na lamang at siguro generally, nakikita ho ba ninyo yung mga nagaganap na tensyon sa Senado, itong ang impeachment? Lahat po yan may possible na papel o may impluensya mula sa ehekutibo, particular na po ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Yung last message na lang din po.
Despite the disclaimer or denial of President Marcos Jr. hinggil doon sa assault ng NBI, I am inclined to believe based on circumstances and personal observations na may kagagawan ang palasyo or ang administrasyon. Hindi lamang sa assault na nangyari ng Mayo 11 at Mayo 13, yung attempt. Pati yung impeachment, may kagagawan ng administrasyon kasi they control the majority in the House. So, ang reality is, merong hen si President Marcos Jr. dito, being the political leader of the coalition in the House. At siya rin ang kinikilalang symbolic head, if not the political head, of the minority led by former Senate President Soto. Kaya meron siyang kagagawan dito with all due respect, despite his attempt to deny itong nangyari noong Mayo 13. May kagagawan, of course. Imposible mangyari ito na merong audacity itong si Matibag and his agents kung walang basbas ng palasyo.
Alright. Attorney, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Maraming salamat, Admar and Jade, and to SMNI for this interview.
Ayun po mga kababayan, si Attorney Manny Luna ang ating pong nakasama na